Science. Science has three main branches in today's time: the formal science, the natural sciences, and the social sciences. And all of these branches of science have different applications such as logic, mathematics, statistics, systems theory, decision theory, and theoretical computer science under formal sciences. Under natural sciences are physics, chemistry, earth science, and space science of astronomy. And lastly, we have biochemistry, microbiology, botany, zoology, and ecology under life sciences. And you might be wondering, how exactly did these three main branches of science and its different applications has formed? And who are the people involved in these sciences? And what were their major discoveries?
Here are the three main scientific revolutions and 5 main scientific societies that shaped out modern science and technology. First on the list is Mr. Nicolas Copernicus, Copernican Revolution. Nicolas Copernicus was known to be the father of modern astronomy. He was the first modern European scientist to propose that Earth and other planets revolve around the Sun, or the heliocentric theory of the universe. Copernicus changed the world in 1532 by finishing the first manuscript of his book on the revolutions of the heavenly spheres. He laid out his model of the solar system and the path of the planets. He eventually made huge changes in the world of modern astronomy, both theoretical and observational astronomy. Next on the list is Mr. Charles Darwin, Darwinian Revolution. Charles Darwin was an English naturalist, geologist, and biologist. He was best known for his contributions to the science of evolution. He completed the Copernican revolution by drawing out for biology the notion of nature as a system of matter in motion governed by natural laws. With Darwin's discovery of natural selection, the origin and adaptations of organisms were brought into the realm of science. His proposition that all species of life have descended from common ancestors is now widely accepted and considered a fundamental concept in science. Next up is Mr. Sigmund Freud, Freudian Revolution. He was an Austrian neurologist who is known as the founder of psychoanalysis. Freud developed a set of therapeutic techniques centered on talk therapy that involved the use of strategies such as transference, pre-association, and dream interpretation. Sigmund Freud was the first psychoanalyst and a true pioneer in the recognition of the importance of unconscious mental activity. His theories on the inner workings of the human mind, which seemed so revolutionary at the turn of the century, are now widely accepted by most schools of psychological thought. Next on the list is Robert Elliott Kahn and Vinton Gray Cerf, under Information Society. Robert Kahn and Vinton Cerf were both recognized as the fathers of the Internet. Computer scientists Vinton Cerf and Bob Kahn are credited with inventing the Internet communication protocols we use today and the system referred to as the Internet. What most of us think of as the Internet is really just the pretty face of the operation: browser windows, websites, URLs, and search bars. But the real Internet, the brain behind the information superhighway, is an intricate set of protocols and rules that someone had to develop before we could get to the World Wide Web. Today, Internet is one of the most used inventions or discoveries. The Internet has turned our existence upside down. It has revolutionized communications, to the extent that it is now our preferred medium of everyday communication. Next on the list is the Maya civilization, Mesoamerican society. There was no specific name of an individual that was credited about this discovery, but the Mayan invented the Mayan calendar. Mayans believed that the earth was the center of all things. The stars, moons, sun, and planets were gods. Mayan priests believed that the will and actions of the gods could be read in the stars, moon, and planets. Mayan is known for measuring time using 2 complicated calendar systems. Mayan calendars are useful for their life, especially in planning activities and observing religious rituals and cultural celebration. They used astrological cycles to aid in planting and harvesting. They then developed 2 calendars that are as precise as those we use today. Next on the list is Emperor Hwandi, Asian society. Emperor Hwandi, the first Chinese emperor, in 2637 BC, invented the Chinese lunar calendar, which follows the cycles of the moon. The lunar calendar paved the sequence of the Chinese zodiac animals. The Chinese zodiac consists of 12 animals that first appeared in the Zhongguo period 5th century BC. No one knows the exact date as of when the zodiac was essentially created, but they were officially identified during the Han Dynasty 206 BC to 9 AD, which was over 2,000 years ago. The zodiac became a popular way to determine a person's birth year during the North Zhou Dynasty 557 to 581 AD, and is still very commonly used today. The zodiac is calculated by a cycle of 60 years in which each animal signifies a different year. The zodiac was based on Chinese astrology and was used as a way to count years, months, days, and hours in the calendar. It was formed from two components, the celestial stem and the terrestrial branch. Each of the 12 animals stands for a year in a 12-year cycle, a day in the 12-day cycle, and for every 2 hours in a 24-hour day. These were used to name each year along with the animal signs, but now they mainly just use the dates. Next on the list is Mr. Mohammed ibn Musa al-Khwarizmi, Middle East Society. Algebra is one of the Arabic contributions to mathematics. The Persian polymath Mohammed ibn Musa al-Khwarizmi is considered the father of algebra, because his book Algebra is the first treatise on the systematic solutions of linear and quadratic equations. The word algebra is derived from al-jabr, one of the operations used to solve quadratic equations in his book. Al-Khwarizmi also introduced the decimal positioning system in mathematics. Today, algebra is used in day-to-day manner both in the field of science and even to regular day-to-day human interactions that we never thought were using it. Next on the list is Mr. Alan Cormack, African Society. Two of the biggest and some of the most recent technological developments to come out of Africa have to do with medicine. The first one is known as a CAT scan, or computer axial tomography scan, also called the CT scan. While an X-ray machine takes just one picture of your internal structures, a CAT scan takes images of many slices through your body and puts them together into one detailed image. CAT scans have been used by doctors all over the world to help countless people with fractures, tumors, and many other ailments. The CAT scan was developed thanks in great part to Alan Cormack, a native South African. Questions for reflection. Why do you think most intellectual ideas are controversial? Intellectual ideas are controversial because most people aren't open-minded and free thinkers. Most people tend to contradict the ideas of others and does not accept that we have our own different opinions about a certain topic and we should respect each other for that. When an idea goes against their mainly held beliefs, especially religion, most people go through a state of cognitive dissonance, a state wherein new ideas challenge a belief that's been held for a very long time, like in religion and also in science and astronomy. An example of this is, Copernicus and his heliocentric system were shunned from society because it was long believed that the Earth was the center of the universe. Another reason would be because many intellectual ideas make humans less special. This also applies to Copernicus, because in his new solar system, the Earth and humans are not any more important enough to be in the center. Another example would be Darwin's theory of evolution. It challenged the fact that according to religion God created humans from dirt. Why did the people accept these new discoveries despite being contradictory to what was widely accepted at that time? There are numerous of reasons why new discoveries are still accepted despite the fact that it is contradictory to other discoveries that was much appreciated or accepted in different times, but based on our understanding. The primary reason for that is it plays a huge part in the revolution of ideas. All discoveries were studied and observed very well, it was all supported by strong evidences and explanations. Today, we are aware that there are already a lot of discoveries. There can never be any limit to discoveries. Science is a non-ending knowledge and there can be new discoveries that will be made tomorrow or any other day in the future. Some discoveries before was still remembered until today and even in the future because it was all part of the revolution of ideas. Discoveries made in the ancient times were still considered the foundation of the new discoveries today.